Tonight, Broken Hill's mayor tries a new approach to running the Silver City. And it's almost Tunarama time, so meet the contenders hoping to be named its new ambassador.
This is Southern Cross News with Alison Drower.
Hello, thanks for your company this evening. Abby Donaldson is continuing to enjoy a short break. But first tonight to Port Augusta, where concerned members of the Kimber and Hawker communities have joined forces against plans for a nuclear waste facility. Around 300 people staged a protest rally over the weekend, bringing traffic to a crawl across the Joy-Baluke Bridge.
United and marching as one.
We say no, the waste dump has to go.
The Kimber and Hawker communities have aligned for a determined fight.
Let's make our noise. Let's let the government and the rest of Australia know that we are serious when we say no. No to nuclear waste in our country.
What this shows is that whether it's the people of Kimber or whether it's the people of the Flinders Ranges, they are not willing to have the nation's nuclear waste dumped on their land.
Aboriginal locals in Hawker are concerned any facility built at the Whyalla site will tarnish not only ancient cultural heritage sites, but also impact tourism in the Flinders Ranges.
Such remarkable scenery, and to put a nuclear waste dump on that land is heartbreaking.
Kimber farmers say there's no guarantee the prices for local produce can also be protected.
We just don't reckon that it's worth taking the risk.
This week the communities were due to hold ballots on the plan, but after the Bundaliyah people won a Supreme Court injunction to stop the Kimber vote, all voting has now been suspended. The matter is due in court again on Thursday. Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
A 24-year-old Kadina woman will face court on drug trafficking charges after police intercepted her car at the Port Augusta prison. Police allegedly found more than 30 strips of Suboxone concealed in balloons, along with drug paraphernalia. The woman has been banned for a year from visiting any correctional facility. Broken Hill City Council has unveiled its preferred design for a series of new visitor welcome signs, but not everybody likes what they see.
A new design to welcome travellers to the Silver City. Broken Hill City Council was able to reveal the long-awaited concept for the new welcome signs to be posted at all major inroads around Broken Hill.
It actually represents the line of load, represents mining, and that's why we got the heritage listing. So we can't be too complicated about what a sign should look like.
The sign declares Broken Hill as Australia's first heritage city and acknowledges the traditional owners of the land. Mayor Turley says it's a vast improvement on the existing sign.
Now, council officers have put out a thing on Facebook. There's been lots of feedback.
But the feedback hasn't been all positive. Councillor Tom Kennedy says he's heard from a number of disappointed locals who say the design needs to be more representative of the city as a whole.
They don't think that it represents what Broken Hill's about. And a lot of people are just disappointed in the way that it looks, considering council has had a lot of time to do this.
Council has yet to decide if the new design will go to further public consultation, further delaying the schedule for the rollout. Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
An elderly woman remains in Royal Adelaide Hospital tonight with serious injuries after an accident on the Augusta Highway near Snowtown. A Medivac chopper landed on the road to pick up the 87-year-old woman, while a 48-year-old female driver of another vehicle was treated at the scene for minor injuries. Students at St Mark's College in Port Pirie now have access to some of the best science resources in the state, with the opening today of the school's new STEM facility. Rachel Nell has more.
Wearing their lab coats with pride, students from St Mark's College have walked through the doors of a new $5 million building dedicated to the innovation of science.
Connecting into that STEM philosophy of gathering, of projects, of working in your own space.
The state-of-the-art building is situated in the heart of the school, with science labs filling a mezzanine level for practical lessons, while the bottom level is a dedicated space for theory.
If we looked upstairs, we'd say, oh yeah, we know we're in a science place. But downstairs, there's much more flexibility.
It's hoped the new building will encourage more students to study science, technology, engineering and maths.
It's a building that invites learning, so we've put a lot of emphasis on the quality of the environment, invites young people to scholarship themselves.
It's really exciting. As a chemistry and biology student, we obviously need a lot of equipment and facilities, and this will really benefit our learning.
Excited for the younger kids to have this new facility to nurture them through their school.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, teams in this year's Variety Bash have celebrated the end of the 7-day event in Port Lincoln, and Casey Trelaw has been part of the welcoming committee.
After nearly 3,000 kilometres travelled by 320 bashes, this year's Variety Bash has finally crossed the finish line.
To drive in today was surreal, to have so many people all along the highway coming in from North Shields, on the side of the road waving and then coming into town. The bashes feel like rock stars.
The bash cars and their drivers come in all shapes and characters, and they couldn't believe how much fun they had along the way.
Incredible to see the kids and people applauding and saying thank you. Yeah. And all we did was have fun.
It's always quite emotional to wrap up what's been another incredible event of the Variety Bash. We've done thousands of kilometres through the mud, through dust, and all to help out kids in need around South Australia.
And with all those Ks, organisers were thrilled to confirm the event raised $1.76 million for Variety.
It brings tears to the eyes when you know you're helping in such a big way.
We work so hard through the year, and then seeing the kids get this stuff, it just brings tears to our eyes.
And while Sandra will be remembered for her hard yakka organising the event, she'll also be remembered for her new slogan.
Every morning she'd give us our brief and tell us about the tracks, and it was always bloody good.
Some would say bloody good.
Bloody good.
How bloody good was that today?
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, Broken Hill's Mayor Daria Turley tries a new approach to connecting with locals. That's next on Southern Cross News. Welcome back. Well, Broken Hill's Mayor is trying a new approach to connect with residents, holding an informal drop-in session at her office.
No appointment, no worries. The Mayor can see you now.
People can drop in, raise issues with me. They don't need an appointment.
Mayor Turley is opening her office door to anyone who has some constructive commentary on how council is doing its job ahead of next Wednesday night's monthly meeting.
They can give me some feedback on what council's doing. They can talk about issues that concern them. But it's a way of changing the way we connect with the community.
The drop-in session is scheduled to run for an hour between 4 and 5 next Wednesday afternoon. And Mayor Turley says it's important she is accessible to the community.
This doesn't take away from the fact you can make an appointment with me any other time. And I think the community know that my phone number is actually on the website, so people can contact me on the phone. But this is another way of making sure that the community can actually raise issues.
The Mayor is hoping the community will get behind the drop-in session. She says if it's successful, more sessions will be held in the future. Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
Well, still in Broken Hill, a Victorian woman has been charged with possessing a can of capsicum spray. Police pulled over the 29-year-old woman on Wentworth Road just before 2 o'clock on Sunday morning. She reportedly told police that she thought it was a medical throat spray and not the prohibited weapon. She will face court in September. Whyalla Aged Care will build a new community hub with the support of $40,000 from the Beyond Bank. The centre in the bank's old premises on Donaldson Street will be a one-stop shop for aged care support services.
So the team will be able to support older people, find the right service that suits them.
Beyond Bank Foundation Chair Dave Nichols says support services are critical as the nation deals with an ageing population.
We're all getting to that end of the stick, so I want to make sure that when it comes my turn that there are facilities around the people that do care.
One of our region's popular forests is about to become a little bit more enchanting. The Bundaliyah Forest will soon feature a storybook trail with an environmental message.
The trail tells the story of Bundaliyah Bilby and his adventures with his forest friends. There'll be 8 sculptures lining Maple Walk, accompanied by a page from the storybook.
The children can also find a wooden animal sculpture, and in amongst the forest around that area there'll be 8 activities for the kids to do that relate to the animal.
I'm excited to see the sculpture of the kangaroo on the trail.
It's hoped the trail will provide kids with a new nature-based learning experience.
Learning to jump like a kangaroo or find a piece of bark that feels like an echidna. It's about learning about the environment.
Various community groups have donated thousands of dollars to creating new play pods in the picnic area.
Mud kitchen, and there'll be some swinging chairs, potentially a mini flying fox.
The new nature play experiences will enhance the natural beauty of the Bundaliyah Forest picnic ground and create safe, family-friendly activities for all ages.
The evidence is coming out at the moment of how important it is that children could just relate to nature, going back to basics.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Well, it's almost Tunarama time in Port Lincoln, and 7 eager hopefuls are vying for the honour of being the event's ambassador this year. Casey Trelaw has more.
Port Lincoln's future community leaders set to take on an exciting new challenge. There was plenty of glamour at this year's Tunarama Ambassador Quest sashing event.
Today is where we get together with all the family and friends, sponsors and charities for our Quest entrance for 2019. They get sashed today, and it's the beginning of their journey with the Tunarama Quest.
An impressive 7 young entrants have put their hand up for the role, each presenting their chosen charities and why they want to be the face of the iconic event.
It was just a really good opportunity to go out into the community and do some good work, spread awareness about different organisations.
And this year it isn't all about the girls.
Oh, absolutely thrilled. It's great to get together with all the other entrants and receive our sashes and make ourselves known to the public.
The current ambassador says the new entrants have a lot to look forward to in their journey.
They have a lot to look forward to this year. There's lots of activities yet to come, and it's only the beginning.
Now these 7 Quest entrants will head out into the community to raise much needed funds for their chosen charities in the lead up to next year's Port Lincoln Tunarama. Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
Meantime, Whyalla is packing away the rides and the pavilions for another year after record crowds at Jubilee Park for the annual show. John Hunt filed this report.
When the 3rd week of August rolls around, the Whyalla Show rolls into town. Thousands descended on Jubilee Park over the weekend, with crowds up on last year's attendance.
Lots to do, the crowd was great. Numbers were great, traders did amazing business out here.
Both the young ones and the big kids enjoyed the rides and games on offer. Whyalla's most creative were on display in the exhibition hall, while the food trucks were in big demand. And showgoers were treated to a variety of local and visiting entertainers. But the joy of the show comes from the smiles on children's faces. Show bags were in hot demand as kids were keen to show this year's loot.
In the Hubba Bubba one there's bubblegum in a cup, and then in the Fizzle Wizard is just lollies.
There's everything to do, like you can buy food and stuff, and it's just a good experience.
And it's the joy of the kids that keeps the show going.
Watching all the smiling faces walking around, all the happy families. We're very hard working out here, we're volunteers, that's what keeps us going.
But for now, the show rolls on to another part of Country SA. John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
And John Hunt will be joining us after the break for our usual Monday night breakdown of all the weekend footy.
And it looks like a mostly sunny week ahead. I'll have all the details soon.
Time for a recap on the weekend's footy action, and John Hunt joins us now from Whyalla. So John, North's proving just a bit too strong for West this time around.
It was, Ali. These two are odds on to make the grand final. So on top of the 2 points, a psychological victory was at stake. North hadn't lost to West all year and they kept that record intact with a big win over the Dragons. North jumped out of the blocks early, kicking 2-1 to a point in the first term, and kept West to just 1 goal in the first half. But it was the third term that set up the victory. The Magpies were ferocious on and off the ball, hunting West down and pressuring the Dragons into mistakes they don't usually make. 7-1 rendered the contest over, as North cruised to a 38-point win. The two will meet once again in a fortnight, but this year North will go into September with the edge over West. In the other matches, an inaccurate South edge past Rapina, and Waruna Bay defeated Centrals by 4 goals in a seesawing contest. It was the opening week of finals in Spencer Gulf footy. South Augusta are through to the grand final after a 40-point win over Solly's. Lionel Brown kicked 5 for the winners. Solly's will play Prop Brisbane in the prelim after the Lions came from behind at 3/4 time to defeat Port by 1 goal. In Port Lincoln, Lincoln South defeated a winless Boston. Waybacks held off Tasman by 5 points, while Marble Range won the minor premiership with a 33-point win over second-place Mallee Park. Across the border in Broken Hill, South made light work of West, while North fought off a gallant Central. And in Great Flinders footy, Ramblers thrashed the Cougars. Daniel Havelberg kicked 11 goals as United Yalana finished the season undefeated with a thumping win over Lock, and Tumby Bay made light work of Ayr United. So there you have it, a massive weekend of footy as we head towards finals time. It's also crunch time in netball and soccer, and we'll bring you those results tomorrow night.
Thanks for that, John. Time to check in with Amy for all of your local weather details.
Thanks, Ali. A mostly fine day around the region. A sunny 18 for Port Augusta, 16 in Broken Hill, some cloud about in Port Lincoln and a top of 15 degrees. And a big thank you to our viewer Tam, who captured the stunning golden hour at Port Germain over the weekend. If you have a weather shot you'd like to share, we love seeing them, and you can send them through to localnews@sca.com.au. On the satellite, and some cloud over the southeast, however it's staying dry. Skies clearer elsewhere thanks to high pressure, which is bringing warmer days, however it will be chilly overnight. If you're out and about on the waters tomorrow, northerly winds will shift northwesterly up to 15 knots, with seas reaching 1 metre. Sunrise is at 6:53, while it will set at 5:52. More sunny conditions predicted across the region tomorrow. Temperatures rising to 21 in Port Augusta and Woodna, 20 the high for Whyalla. The chance of some showers midweek in Port Lincoln, however they should clear for a sunny 17 on Friday. Cleve and Woodna are also ending the week with mostly fine conditions and tops in the high teens to low 20s. Mostly fine around Whyalla this week, a top of 20 for Friday. Maximums in Port Augusta will sit at 21 as showers clear on Thursday. And a little cooler in Kadina, however a fine 18 expected to round out the week. After a warm 23 on Wednesday, there could be the odd shower for Port Pirie. Temperatures in Clare will be slightly warmer than last week, hitting 16 on Friday. And in Broken Hill, there could be some cloudy skies around, however temperatures will sit at 20 degrees later this week. So Ali, it looks like we've got sunshine ahead for this week.
Thank you very much for that, Amy. Well, that is Southern Cross News for this Monday night. You can keep across breaking news events and local issues via our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. So on behalf of the team, enjoy the rest of your night.